everyone, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about what I believe we can expect over the next 4 years, now that Donald Trump has been elected president. And just from the history of the previous administration and then Donald Trump's administration beforehand, since he's already been president, we can speculate and get a pretty good idea. But there are going to be some differences. The number one difference is the first time he ran and got elected, he didn't have any experience. So he did not really know who people were in D.C. He did not know how the machine ran. He did not know the system. And this time he does. So that's going to make a big difference. Maybe that delay will even help, because in the past 4 years, he's actually had more time to dig into how everything works and learn even more. At least since he's been president one time, now he knew where to look, where to get information about what area, about what part of the government to get information on. So I'm sure he's done a lot of research in the last 4 years. Well, 3 years, because he's been running for the last year. And as far as what to expect, now, up until he's inaugurated, I hate to speculate, but I just feel like I have a feeling that the system is going to pull some stuff. The last time, during the election and everything, they have done literally everything they could, and I believe even releasing an illness on all of us. I believe that was part of that machine and operation. And they've done everything they could to frustrate him, to halt him, to whatever, to sidetrack him, to derail him. And I don't think they're done yet. So I hate to speculate on what that might be, but I have learned and listened and watched and paid attention to all of the things that they have done throughout history, and so nothing will surprise me. Literally, I don't think anything would surprise me at this point. So if they pull anything, they might not do anything. Honestly, my whole thought process this whole time was that, why don't they just let him go, and build up for the next election and get a really charismatic, electable person to run in the next election. Just gear up for the next one. I mean, the first thing they did when they got in this last time was undo everything he did. So why? I don't understand all the fighting, all the prosecution, all the lawfare, all the attacks. I don't understand any of it when they could just play ball and, take one on the chin and get ready for the next one. So I don't understand that. But the way they've been doing it, it makes me nervous about the next few months, put it that way. Now, after that, after his inauguration, and he starts doing the things he says he's going to do, then we're still going to have problems, I believe. Because if you think about it, if you think about the country, the system, like an organization, or like an organism, or like a machine, to fix something, you have to do damage. To fix your car, the mechanic's got to rip it apart to put the new part in, or to take cancer out of the body, the doctor's going to cut open the patient and cut the cancer out. Damage has to be done. To straighten out a company that's bloated and corrupt, you go in and you fire 80% of the people, just like Elon Musk did with Twitter when he changed it to X. I mean, it's got to happen. There's going to be a time of pain. There's going to be a time of destruction in order to rebuild and to heal. There's no other way it can go. Now, last time he did some stuff to fix the economy, which was all in good, and that was wonderful. But the core problems that he wanted to fix Number one, he didn't have the experience to fix them. Number two, they fought him every step of the way and prevented him from doing a lot of what he wanted to do. So, with this experience, he might be able to actually get some stuff done this time. Some real lasting changes to our system. And that will be a painful change for America. That's not going to be just, everything's roses and cotton candy. It's going to be a painful procedure because it must be. So we've got to be able to look at those things, that pain, versus the pain that the system can wreak on our country trying to prevent that. Okay? There's two different things, and neither one of them is going to feel good. But one is going to be a healing, and the other one is going to be just straight up destruction. If the system can still exert enough power on our economy and stuff to just derail everything, I wouldn't put it past them. I sincerely believe they will if they can, and we'll just have to see. Now, all of the... I don't want to get into the left versus right and the Republican and Democrat and all that stuff, but all the people who believe that he's a Nazi and all this stuff, he's already been president once. He's going to do more of the same. He's either going to get derailed and get balked and stopped like he did last time, or he's going to be successful. But all of the things he says he's going to do is beneficial to Americans, every single American. All this stuff that, I don't know if all of y'all have seen, all the people who voted for Kamala Harris screaming and doing all these selfie videos, crying and having meltdowns, basically. That's another thing. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know what's going to happen with all this stuff, because the people who voted for Kamala Harris are so emotional, and they're so far away from reality. They actually think that they're not going to be able to abort their children anymore. They actually believe that they're going to have to be Nazis and be put in camps and be put in chains and all this stuff. It's just totally ridiculous what they believe, but they believe it for some reason. So I don't know what kind of stuff that portion of the population will try to do over the next 4 years. That's another thing that could come out of left field on us. But we've got to pay attention to what happens and why it is happening. If it just comes out of left field and there are all kinds of conspiracy theories about it, then there's a good chance that it's coming from the system. Now, if it's happening as a response to something Trump has done to try to fix the system, then we just need to buckle down and get through it, because the system is what's broken and it needs to be fixed. All this stuff that's been going on, all these foreign wars, and billions of our tax dollars going to support these wars, and all this other just weird, out of this world stuff that they're doing with our tax money, all that stuff needs to stop. All this stuff, the FDA, the policing of the pharmaceutical industry linked together, and them making money off of each other, it's got to stop. RFK, I hope he goes in there and just breaks that apart and dismantles it and starts over from scratch. And that's going to be painful for us, but it needs to be done. That's my opinion. And Vivek Ramaswamy, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but from what I've seen him on interviews a couple times, and he doesn't get upset when people mispronounce his last name, so I don't think he'll be too upset with me. But he wants to dismantle the bureaucracy, and I hope he gets in there. I hope Trump gets him in there and gives him a chance, because he wants to fire like 80% of the people working in there and dismantle all of these laws that have been passed illegally, these regulations that have been passed illegally upon us, and he wants to get rid of all that stuff. Now that will be painful, but it needs to be done in my opinion. And y'all feel free to put your opinions down in the comments. But I am going into this with my eyes wide open. I understand that there's going to be some pain. There's going to be some economic uncertainty, maybe a downturn in our future as Trump rights this ship. And if that's the reason we have it, if that's the reason we're going through it, I'm for it. I'll buckle down and get through it with him and his cabinet or whatever they're doing. Now, he's not going to make every single decision, and every single change he makes, I'm sure, isn't going to be, perfect. But I'm hoping that the majority of them will be. We need to keep our common sense about us and do our due diligence and find out why what is happening as it happens, instead of getting up in arms because, things are getting tough. We need to realize that there's some growing pains that need to happen. There's some healing, some restructuring, some changing of parts, however you want to say it, but you got to take the machine apart before you can put it back together. So that's my thing. That's where I'm at. I'm going to keep my eyes open for the system to be, lobbing, crazy stuff at us and trying to hurt us and trying to take down our country like they have. But at the same time, we need to expect the growing pains, the healing pains. And that's basically what I had to say on that topic. And for those subscribers who have wondered where I've been for the last week, I've just been working a lot of hours at my day job. I don't make a living off of this. I still have a day job, and it's not an easy one. And just been working a lot of hours and just worn out physically and mentally. So I was going to take a break for a day or two, and it just the work didn't slack off. So it just kind of snowballed. And if I had known it was going to be that long, I would have made a video explaining where I was going and why, but I didn't realize that it was going to be an entire week. So, but I'm back. And I appreciate y'all for sticking around. Thank you very much. And I'll leave you there with that. If you'd like to become a member of Gen X Thinks, I'll leave that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I sincerely appreciate those of you who do that. And I'll leave that link down in the description. If you're interested in Gen X gear, you can head over to Redbubble and check out the stuff we have over there, Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded gear. I'll leave that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a lot. Thank you very much to those of you who do that. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us, and the email's over on the channel page. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.